Alright, so yes, I did take a week off from posting, but no, I did not take a week off from filming. I decided to take it upon myself to both rearrange and reorganize my dad's workshop because everything was, well, everywhere. As I would with any clean and organized with me, I've cleared everything off of each shelf, and in doing so placed any and all tools back and forth between two toolboxes to be decided on at a later date because that is not my decision to mess around with. Placed alike items together on the nearest surface, which is a table, which I will also in time be cleaning and organizing. Struggled fully with carrying some items, as well as wondering why there were so many empty tins of ghost coffee, then later using those as storage as well. To dust off the shelves, I'm actually using a trick that I've just recently learned, which is instead of using a duster, use a Swiffer, but add one of those microfiber cloths you can get from like the dollar store. They are super cheap and it allows you to fake long arms for a minute while also pretending to be Gandalf. You shall not pass. Once the dust has been cleared off, I'm wiping any remaining residue with a damp cloth and some mild soap, or disinfectant if you'd prefer, depending on what is actually on your workspace. Depending on the surface, even maybe a scraping tool if necessary, which I felt was necessary, so I took one, especially seeing as how this, again, is a work area and spills can happen. On to the organization. I picked up some sturdy organizers from the dollar store, one to put the cleaners in, as you want to keep those separate from appliances, especially considering most of them, if not all of them, are going to be flammable, as well as anything pertaining to cleaning, perhaps some face masks that you'd put on while using some chemical cleaners. I took some from an already existing stash of these random bowls and cups, and I put some rags in there, as well as this big tub that I actually picked up from a local department store in the as-is section. I would definitely recommend clear totes like this because you can see in from the top, you can also see in from all sides, which I appreciate. I was able to source from the dollar store they call the utensils holder and placed an overwhelming amount of tape in there, and what didn't fit I placed just behind it. Now you may recognize this from one of my old videos of me organizing my hoarding room. It's where I keep the little things all together. I've placed writing utensils in an airtight container minus the lid because honestly who needs to put utensils in an airtight container. And the tin beside is actually that ghost coffee container I pointed out earlier without the logo film on it. In a weird fabricated basket I placed caulking, which I can never say without giggling a little bit. And all of the power tools on the bottom shelf and the hand tools that are in sets just above them, so everything is kept together, which you will see soon enough. There it is. I found out this really simple hack probably everyone will, know, but it just occurred to me in the moment, and even if one person finds this helpful, I'm happy. And that is using the clip on a tape measure to fasten it to a ledge. And since this is me invading someone else's space and moving things around, I thought it to be helpful to not only walk him through it, which you will see at the end, but label things so it's a lot easier for him to navigate. It may look like an easy job to just label things, and it's definitely a decent pastime, and it's probably a lot easier for others than it seems to be for me, but here we are, the real life struggles that no one shows you about label makers. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm just kidding, I wouldn't do that. The cleanup would be insane. Remember that table I mentioned earlier? Well, here we are. I didn't buy anything to organize this, as I just used what was around because this table is to be worked on and not organized on, if that makes sense. One tip I have is if you have a container that doesn't have any way of hanging it, to use a binder clip and to clip that one on so you have at least something to clip it with. That sounded really redundant, but continuing on. A tip that I will give you is that if you have any nuts, screws, bolts, or nails that don't have a way to be organized or you don't have space to organize them into, place alike ones into baggies. Again, use those binder clips to clip onto the bags and then hang them. There's less clutter and more room on whatever surface you've designated your working space. Another tip that you won't exactly be seeing because it's sped up so much, but I did just want to mention, is if you have kind of like a bunch of screws in a cardboard area, like within their packaging still, and you want to remove those, cut the portion of the cardboard that actually states what size it is, and put that around the screws, nuts, bolts, whatever you got, with an elastic band. I even swept and dusted the area to make the cleaning as optimal as possible, because this is going to be a space for more than one person to use and perhaps at one time. So the less mess and clutter, the better. But it's also, again, not my space and I need to be mindful of that. I do apologize about the crap quality, but I am dealing with a new phone and with that comes challenges in itself. Enjoy!
What's that gray? It's shelf space. These could go over there.